Straight ahead on 12 News, balloons rely on it. It's also critical in the world of medicine. We'll show you a problem the federal government actually solved. Then, save it or take it down. The public weighs in on Osseo's water tower. But first, a Brooklyn Park Police Department first. What it's doing to catch a credit card thief. 12 News starts right now. Brooklyn Park Police turned to social media to nab a credit card thief. Thanks for joining us. I'm Alexandra Renslow.
And I'm Mike Johnson. Police hope social media can help them catch the suspect quickly. Renee Bonneau joins us now with the latest on this case. Renee?
Mike and Alex, we all know things can spread like wildfire on Facebook and Twitter, and Brooklyn Park Police are banking on that in this case. On October 2nd, they received a report that a stolen credit card was used to buy two $250 gift cards at the Walmart in Brooklyn Park. Police have little information on the suspect, only that he was a white male wearing dark clothing. He might have gotten into a light-colored Chevy SUV. The police department posted this picture of the suspect on its social media sites with the hope of getting a quick response.
Chances are somebody out there knows who this person is and can identify them based on what they were wearing alone.
The department spokesperson tells 12 News this is the first time it's posted a surveillance picture on Facebook, and he says Brooklyn Park PD will be using social media more and more in the future.
We're constantly asking the public for their help and really, utilizing a team effort here to solve crime and reduce crime here across the board. So in this case, the response was positive. We do see that it gets shared out to a number of different entities, and there's this compounding effect that happens, and it's also very timely.
At this point, the suspect in this particular case is only tied to this one incident. Mike and Alex.
All right, thank you, Renee. Osseo is hearing opinions on both sides over what to do with its 100-year-old water tower.
Engineers say the city will have to make repairs in the near future or tear it down. The North Water Tower hasn't actually held water in years. Those who want to tear it down say the town can't afford the estimated $350,000 in repair costs. But some told the city council Monday night it's worth saving for its historical value.
Osseo is getting a lot of new things, which is very important for a small town like this, but I also think it's really important to keep the old and keep our historical standing.
There are monies available to maintain and preserve the tower, so local citizens would not have to be taxed.
It seems like the absolute cheapest option is just cut it down, cut it up, and take it out of there. That's my opinion.
If this tower was unique like Lindstrom's coffee pot, it maybe would be worth considering. But I don't see where this is anything that's unique at all.
The city will get bids to tear down the tower, but at the same time, they'll check into historical funds that could pay to keep it standing. They hope to have that information within a month.
Tough decisions lie ahead in Brooklyn Park as the city council continues to examine its budget. And while the needs of this increasingly diverse city have grown, some council members feel the city could do a better job at cutting costs.
During the worst economic times of most of our lifetimes, our budget has gone through the roof. Enormous increases, more than double, sometimes triple. And this is when people have been hit the hardest in their occupations and their jobs and their homes. And I find this appalling.
Those comments came during a discussion of the administration's budget, which is projected to go up by $362,000, a nearly 20% increase. One primary driver behind the rise is the cost of added staff. The city has recently added staff to address a variety of needs, including growing inspection workloads.
Meantime, as the federal debt ceiling deadline looms Thursday and the partial government shutdown stretches into its 15th day, a Minnesota senator is working on a deal to end the impasse. Democratic Senator Amy Klobuchar is part of a group of bipartisan senators working on a proposal that would end the shutdown and extend the debt limit. However, it was unclear when the GOP-led House would do on Tuesday and whether there were enough votes to pass a counter-proposal to the Senate's plan. With the federal government shutdown in full swing, it is hard to imagine a time when Congress could agree on anything.
But right before the shutdown happened, they did just that, coming together on legislation to allow the continued sale of helium. That's right, that's the gas used to inflate balloons. And in today's Health Check, Blaine Cleveland explains the important role that helium plays in the world of medicine.
Attend any festive occasion, and chances are that you'll see a wide array of balloons incorporated into the decorations. Adding to the fun of balloons is the lightweight gas helium, which gives the colorful party favors the ability to float.
But helium isn't just used for balloons. It actually plays an important role in the nation's healthcare system.
This is a patient who's just getting their cervical spine scanned. You can see some of the images here.
Say, for instance, someone has a serious knee or back problem. A doctor could insert that person into an MRI scanner.
It's for diagnosis, so it lets us figure out what the problem is, so then we can figure out the best way to treat a patient.
One of the key components of the MRI is several thousand liters of liquid helium.
It cools the magnet itself, the magnetic wires, and allows them to be almost resistance-free, so it becomes, in effect, a superconducting magnet.
Keeping that helium supply flowing from a national reserve was a hot topic in Washington prior to the federal government shutdown.
Today, we are voting on a negotiated path forward, a more fair solution that will ensure a stable supply of helium for businesses and will reduce our deficit by an estimated $90 million over the next 10 years.
Congress ultimately voted to renew a 1996 law authorizing helium sales that would have expired at the end of the month.
I'd say that the medical field is one of the biggest users of liquid helium, for sure.
Which means the MRI machines can keep scanning.
They're all servicing patients who are ill or hurt, and that's going to impact everybody.
And the balloons can stay inflated.
In Crystal, Delane Cleveland, 12 News.
Oh, we knew he was going to do that. President Obama signed the Helium Stewardship Act of 2013 into law on October 2nd. However, experts caution that many of the Earth's helium reserves could be depleted within the next 40 to 100 years.
Minnesota's cold weather rule takes effect today. You might remember it helps protect families who can't afford their heating bill from getting their service disconnected during the winter months. However, you do need to contact your utility company and arrange a payment plan to make sure that the heat stays on. Donations are also needed for the Salvation Army Heat Share program, which helps families in need. For more information, you can go to heatshare.org. Coming up, a Golden Valley car dealership takes part in dream building. We'll explain up next.
Then later in sports, Osseo and Totino-Grace are ready to battle for a conference title in football.
But first, some optimism amid the colder weather doom and gloom. The ground actually needed all this rain. Look for the skies to clear up on Wednesday. A Golden Valley car dealership is part of an effort to build dreams in Africa.
It's teaming up with a local foundation to help build classrooms in Kenya. Photojournalist Neil Persley has more.
In an effort to honor a friend's memory.
When I was young, my best friend died.
And their shared love for education.
I always knew that I wanted to do something in education to carry on his legacy.
He calls it the Classroom of Dreams in Kenya.
I just knew that the dollar would go so much further in a country like Africa.
So on Thursday night, the Carson Glore Foundation is having their third annual Classroom of Dreams live and silent auction.
Every dollar donated throughout the event is going to go towards funding 2 new classrooms and finishing the school in Kenya that we're building. So we finished our first one and opened that in January, and now we're fundraising for our second one.
The event is taking place at the Land Rover Jaguar dealership in Golden Valley. Well, you may ask yourself, what does a Golden Valley car dealership have to do with Kenya, Africa?
We try to get involved with our customers, and if our customers have different charities that they're involved in, we'll take a look at them and try to partner.
Where you can come, you can talk to everybody in the board, you can find out why couples had sponsored classrooms last year, or why a youth organization at my church donated the water tanks to the school last year. You can find out why they're doing that, and because it's free, it doesn't cost you anything, you can come have some wine and food.
In Golden Valley, Neil Persley, 12 News.
The event goes from 5:30 to 8 o'clock Thursday night at the Land Rover Jaguar dealership in Golden Valley. Well, coming up, a different kind of duck dynasty that will now leave its mark on state license plates.
But up first, in sports, a preview of Maple Grove versus Prairie Seeds in the boys soccer section championship. John Jacobson has that and more when we come back.
Well, it's not Friday night, the big football game, but it's tomorrow night, and it should be a good one.
It'd be a great one over in Fridley, I think. For the second year in a row, the West Division champion of the Northwest Suburban Conference will be decided in a head-to-head matchup on the final night of the regular season. 6-1 Osseo will travel to Totino-Grace to face the defending Class 5A champion Eagles. Osseo lost to Grace in a close Week 8 game last fall, and the Orioles are expecting another tough battle this time around.
It's a real cool thing to be able to play for the conference title Week 8, and that's kind of our goal every year. And starting out, especially with Grace at Week 8, and that's what we've been looking for, and we've kind of got to that point. And Jeff Ferguson's not going to move up to 6A football without one of his best teams. So they're a really good team. Their backs are a lot more dynamic this year than they were last year, and their defense is solid.
If we win, we're most likely going to get the 1 seed. We lose, we're not going to get the 1 seed, and then the road to the state is a little more difficult. So this is going to play a big role.
Osseo's only loss this season was to Minnetonka in Week 2. Like Osseo, Totino-Grace is also 6-1. Their lone loss came against Eden Prairie in Week 3. It's the second year for Eagles football in the Northwest Suburban Conference. Totino is outscoring their last 4 opponents by an average of 27 points. They're looking forward to the challenge the Orioles will provide. Like last year's 14-7 win at Osseo, the Eagles are expecting a good close game from a good team.
Their quarterback is a difference maker. He's unique. We haven't seen anybody like him. And the receivers, you know, a lot of high school teams will have a receiver. They don't have a receiver. They got 3-4 guys they can throw it to. They're all really good. Their running game is good. Their defense is, you know, they fly around. They're just really, they're a really, really solid football team.
Senior night, we're playing at home. It's one of our last games on our home field as seniors especially. Conference championship against Osseo, I mean, it doesn't really get much better than that. We're really excited.
Kickoff is at 7 o'clock Wednesday night at Jim Totino Field. Maple Grove can win the Northwest Suburban Conference's North Division title outright with a victory at home over Elk River. Section championships are on the line Tuesday night for several local soccer teams. One big matchup has Maple Grove hosting Prairie Seeds Academy for the Section 5AA boys title. Maple Grove is the top seed in the section. The Crimson beat Spring Lake Park and Park Center to advance to the final. They've never faced Prairie Seeds, but the Crimson guys know after seeing them beat 2 of their conference rivals, Osseo and Champlin Park, loss to the Lycans will be a tough game.
They're a good team, obviously, if they've made it this far in sections. So they've played some pretty good teams. Osseo, first round, knocked them out, which Osseo is a pretty good team. Beat us early in the season.
We're very excited, of course, but yet again, we're trying to keep our heads on. You know, we don't want to psych ourselves out so much and get so excited for the big game that we end up sort of self-destructing and letting it get ahead of us. So we're just taking it a day at a time, but we're ready to go.
We're really just pumped to get out there and, you know, show what we got. Show versus a Prairie Seeds team that probably has got a pretty good track record in the past, and this year they haven't lost yet, so we're excited to get out there.
Maple Grove hasn't allowed a goal in 2 playoff games after posting 6 shutouts in the regular season. For Prairie Seeds, it's an opportunity to win a section title in their first year moving up to Class AA. It's also a chance to put some bad memories behind them on the same field where a brawl with Totino-Grace took place at the end of their section final last season. Prairie Seeds comes in undefeated at 13-0, and they beat Northwest Suburban Conference teams Osseo and Champlin Park in the first 2 rounds of the playoffs. The Lycans look forward to playing a good opponent and putting last year's controversy behind them.
But in all honesty, I don't think it's really something to joke about. We really have to take it seriously and make sure something like that doesn't happen again. But I don't see that happening again this year with the people we have on this team. I feel like we're more mature this year.
We've come a long way, especially from last year. The incident at Totino-Grace, it's kind of enlightening going back there for round 2 for our section final game. I actually had the chance to watch Park Center play Maple Grove last Thursday, and I thought Maple Grove played a good game. They have some very fast forwards, but I believe that if our team plays the way that we can play, I think that it'll be a good game and we'll give them a run for their money.
And they have very fast forwards, and I'm a defender and I have to guard those forwards, so it'll be difficult, I know, but hopefully we'll pull out the W and we'll go into state.
Prairie Seeds won the state Class A title in 2010 and finished second in 2011. You can watch the Prairie Seeds Maple Grove game in its entirety Wednesday night at 10 on Channel 12. We'll have highlights from that game and a lot more coming up Wednesday starting at 4 here on 12 News.
All right, thanks a lot, John. Now to Local Vote 2013 as we continue our look at the candidates running for the Hopkins School Board.
There are 3 positions up for election this year, 7 candidates on the ballot, and today we'll hear from Katie Fulkerson and Michael Kurus.
Hi, my name is Michael Kurus, and I'm a candidate for Hopkins School Board. My wife and I have 3 children that attend the Hopkins Public Schools. I have 10+ years experience as a special education teacher that I would bring to the board. Having served on various district committees, from the PTO to strategic planning to the Legislative Action Coalition, I have a deep understanding of school district issues such as finances, academics, and diversity. For more information, please go to my website, michaeldubicurus.com. I look forward to serving our district and community as a whole. On November 5th, please vote Michael Kurus for Hopkins School Board. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Katie Fulkerson. I'm running for Hopkins School Board because I care about the future of our community. I want to be an advocate for all of our kids to reach their full potential in college, their careers, and their lives. I live in Minnetonka with my husband Josh of 6 years. I want to be sure that my kids will someday have the same kind of exceptional educational experience as the students who attend Hopkins schools now, and getting better every year. That's important to me because 25 years from now, my kids will still be learning at Hopkins schools. Elect me and I will add a fresh, unique perspective to the school board. My name is Katie Fulkerson and I would truly appreciate your support and your vote on November 5th.
And tomorrow on 12 News, 2 more candidates running for Hopkins School Board. Well, talk about an easy way to travel with your artwork.
See how a Plymouth artist can soon enjoy his wares on 4 wheels. That's when we come back.
A Plymouth artist earns yet another feather in his cap.
Joe Houtman's image of a pheasant will be on Minnesota's new Critical Habitat license plate. The plate is an adaptation of the image used for the 2007 Minnesota pheasant stamp designed by Houtman. The DNR says part of the sales from the pheasant plate will help preserve some of the state's disappearing grasslands. The new plates will be available on November 1st, and of course Houtman comes from a family of wildlife artists. He and his 2 brothers have won the federal duck stamp painting competition multiple times, kind of a dynasty they have going. Last year, Joe was even inducted into the State Waterfowl Hall of Fame.
It looks good, though. It's something to look for on the road.
That's exactly right. That does it for us. Thanks so much for joining us.
Stay with us. Community Corner is coming up next, and we'll see you back here again tomorrow.